We are going to make another image gallery in this tutorial, but we are also going to look at a few other aspects within Brizy. One, I'm going to show you how rows work and a little bit more about columns. And we're also going to look at how you can copy and paste a style from one element to another. This is still a very new feature in Brizy and still being developed as the product is growing. So you have an idea of what we are after. Quite a big image gallery with a little bit of space on the left and the right. But you should already have an idea of how we're going to achieve this based on the previous video. Close out, let's go to our WordPress dashboard, pages, and add new. And this time, instead of naming it after the tutorial, we're just going to open a page called Abstract Photography. And then I'm going to say publish. Publish again. Edit with Brizy. Let's start building our page. Click here, add a blank block, and let's leave these two columns as is. In the previous tutorial, we had brought in images by clicking up here on Add Elements, and then we grab the image element and we select the new image. If you are going to be working with a lot of images, I actually recommend that you don't add the image now. Just leave the placeholder, well, this placeholder there, and this will give you an idea of where the images will be displayed without the actual images distracting you from the layout design. So as I have these images now here, or these image elements, I'm not going to bring in the images. I'm just going to work with it as it is now. So what I want to do is I want to have it 2/3, let's say 2/3 here and then 1/3. That can be done by grabbing the column handle in the middle. And if you click and hold and drag, you will see up there is a heads-up display, and it gives you the size of these columns in percentages. So 1/3 is going to go down to 33 1/3 on the right and 66.7 on the left, exactly where we are now. So once you get there, you just let it go. Now I will grab this image and I will grab the handle here and drag it up until it is aligned with the bottom of that one. Over there. How do we get images below this one now? There are a number of ways we can do that. You can grab another image element and drag it. Now you will see it makes that dark gray line. However, if I drop it, it will only appear in this column. And now I cannot extend it or reduce it. So I'm going to undo that by Control-Command-Z. And watch again. I click on the image, I drag it, but I keep on dragging until I see that thick gray line across the entire section for both columns. And now I drop and drag it. The problem is that at this moment, you don't have it in a column. It is an image outside a column, so those paddings are not applied. So you see things can get a little bit hicky. So let's do it another way. Let's grab this column over here and we duplicate it. So I'm going to click up here, duplicate it. Now what next? Right, so the duplicated image is over here, but because I duplicated the column, we now have 3 columns. What I'll do is I'll click up here, drag it. Now, when I see that thick gray line spanning the entire section, let it drop. So now we are here. Unfortunately, everything here has been reset. So I have to grab this slider again, move it to 33 1/3. There, come on. Oh, okay, there we go. And now I'll have to do it over here the same. Going to come, duplicate it. Then let's drag it this side direction to 33 1/3. But there, it doesn't have to be precise, but I want it to be precise. There we go. Grab this one and then reduce it all the way up. So now you have a good idea of how the layout looks. And when you're done, you can click in here and you can bring in your images. And these images you can find in the download link below. Over here, let's grab this one. Then we can grab this one. For this one, we go here. And then, oh, actually, it should have been the other way around. But I'm not going to care about that now. And there you have that image gallery again. The next thing I want to do now is I want to have these images span more of the width. So you see we have this big white space here on the left and big white space here on the right. How can I increase this size? Now currently these images are boxed. They are contained within an invisible box, an invisible container. And that is done within the block settings. If you go up to the block settings and you click up here, go to settings, you will see the width is set at boxed. And it's already at 100%. So you cannot make this box any bigger. You can make it smaller. For example, if you grab this slider and you drag it in, you can make it smaller. And then you can bring it back to 100%. But besides that, you're not going to achieve more. The only way you can do that is by going up to width, click here, choose full. And now it will stretch all the way to the full size of your screen. There is still some white space here, and the reason for that is because of the padding. Remember, we talked about those default values, the padding that is still here in the column. If I click on the column, go to settings, more settings, you will see these padding values. 5 pixels at the top and bottom and 15 on the sides. But that's fine because I actually want to add space on the left and the right. The thing is, I want to add much more, about 40 pixels. So how am I going to do that? Well, I can go up here to my box, go to settings, more settings, and find the padding. But you'll find that you cannot add padding in the box on the left and the right. You can only do it at the top and the bottom. So that ain't gonna work. The next thing you have to do then is go to your column. Click on the column, go to settings, more settings, and now you have to add the padding here to the left margin. So if I want to add 40 extra, that is going to give us 55. So I'm just going to type in 55. But, you know, I don't like to take long routes. I like to go with Little Red Riding Hood and do things a little bit quicker. And that's why I'm going to show you a different way of containing your columns to speed up your workflow when you get to situations like these. Keep in mind what we've done here. If I want to start adding padding now, I have to go to this column here. Then I have to go to this one, apply it to the right, this one, apply it to the right. Let's delete the block. Bring in a new block, then delete these. Right-click, delete. Right-click, delete. Go to Add Elements. Then you go all the way down here where you see these two container elements. Column, you know this one already. These are usually added by default. And then you have the row. So I'm going to click and drag and drop the row. Now the row container is this one here. You see there's a little gray icon up here, and there are the tools for the row. Then you have already 2 columns inside. Again, remember, they come in with their default settings. Now I'm going to go again, grab my image, grab another one, drop and drag it there. And now I drag it again to 33 1/3%. Over the line, there we go. Reduce this. But before I continue, I'm going to my row settings and I want to remove all the default values. So I click on the settings, more settings, and you will see for the row, there is padding added all around of 10 pixels. I just want none. So grab the slider all the way to the left, 0 pixels. Now I just have that as a container. The great thing now is that if I click on my row and I duplicate my row, this is what will happen. And all I need to do is grab this and drag it over here. So far fewer steps than the previous one that I had to do. I can click on them, go up here to my images, and begin loading in my images. and the last one. So by putting them in a container, I have far more control over applying padding uniformly. I can even make this gallery bigger. Go to the row, duplicate it again, and now I'll just take this one over here, which we know is 33 1/3, and duplicate that one. That should be 33 1/3. Grab here, drag it out. And if you click here on the handlebar, you will see, well, 33 1/3, 33 1/4, because that round off percentage is being added here. So you've got nicely aligned 3 columns over here, and you can add images to that. Now, I go to my block up here, go to settings, let's make it full width again. All I need to do is go to the row. You see the little gray icon there. You have to carefully select it. Settings, more settings. Go to padding, unlock the sides, and then for the right and the left, we give it 45 pixels. Going to type in 45, that's on the right. For the left, 45. And I've applied it nicely to the container. So I haven't touched the images and I haven't touched the columns. I have far more control this way. Now I have to do it to these 2 rows as well. And here comes the nice shortcut for copy and styles. Observe carefully what I do. Again, go up here, right click, and now you select copy. Scroll down to the next row, right click, and you see this option, paste styles. Click on that. What Brizy does now, it takes the styles that you had applied here, which is only the padding, and then it applies to this row as well. When it is this simple, Brizy does a very good job. So that's one of the benefits, again, of using the row. I only applied those 2 changes to the padding. So it's very easy to copy and paste the styles. Let's do it also for the 3rd column. Go again here, right click, paste styles. And there you go. So we've applied that. And now, if you decide this is still a little, too small, I would like it larger, you only need to go to the row. Again, more settings. Let's make it 60. And you go through the same procedure again. Right click, copy. Go to the next row, right click, paste styles, and paste styles. This feature is still in development and will bring more flexibility to your Brizy experience in the future. But there are some places it can already be applied very well. And I really like it for this kind of application, because now I don't have to go into the settings of each of these rows time and time again and apply it individually. Let's save our work, Control S. And you can go and view it on the front end by clicking on the preview button. And a very big image gallery. You will bring in your other images here for these 3 columns at the bottom. Let's wrap it up by looking at tablet and mobile view. And here comes a little bit of advice. For the tablet version, you're going to have the landscape displayed will look like this. But the thing is that on smaller screens, images can actually clutter the user experience. So when you have a massive image gallery like this, or it's actually already too many images, then what you need to do is you need to remove some of these images for tablet and for cell phone display, especially on a cell phone. Let's go have a look at how this will appear on a cell phone. I click here on mobile, and you can just imagine you get to this page and you scroll and it's like the infinity stones. You never know when it's going to end. And that is just the reality about cell phones, is it has to be quicker access. So what I'll do is I'm going to start with my tablet view. And I want to take away these guys down here. And we do that by disabling the element while you are in that specific responsive view. The way you disable it is you click on the element that you want to disable. In this case, I want to disable this entire row. Go to the row settings, click on it. when you hover over it, disable on tablet. Click on that and it will blur the images. You know they are there, but they won't display. Let's go to cell phone, mobile view, but here you have to individually set how you want to display them. I go to the row again, the last row, click here on the row and disable it. Let's see, top I still have 4 images, but let's say I think this image here, well, I think who wants to look at a tiled bathroom wall or floor? Let's take this image out for cell phone display. Let's just keep our powerful images for the cell phone. Then I go to this element, which is the column, and I click on the column. And again, I just disable this one on mobile. So only the images that are not blurred, this one, and these 2 up here, will display on mobile. So am I telling the truth? Let's update our page, and then we go view it on the front end and see if Brizy can do disable on devices. Let's minimize our browser. And currently we are in desktop view. We know that because we can see 3 rows with the images inside. We grab the side of the browser and we drag it in. And around here, there we go. It disappears. Now we are in tablet view. So you see that row will not display on tablet view. It is a more concise experience for your visitor. Let's drag it more to cell phone view. Okay. And you see only those 3 images. I like this and I recommend, especially when you are working with images, they just can clutter mobile phone user experience. So really consider disabling some of your images when you have a lot on a mobile phone. On desktop, yes, they are always impressive, but going from desktop all the way to mobile is a completely different user experience. You are not sitting with a mouse that you can click around easily. It's not a huge display, so the image can make a huge impression on you. It is so small on mobile. So you only want to have an impact, and then you want the people to get to the nitty-gritty of your site. So disable all those extra images. I know sometimes it's difficult to choose which ones you want to keep and which ones you want to disable. Let's just close this and look again at where those disable functions are so that you are aware of how to activate or disable them. On your desktop, if you click on anything on your desktop and you want to disable it here, you're not going to see that option. You're going to find that under Settings, More Settings, under Advanced, Show on Desktop. So if you want to deactivate something on desktop, you do it here. In an upcoming tutorial, we will look at a situation where you would want to disable something on a desktop. If you want to disable them on tablet, you go to the tablet view, and that is right there in the contextual menu, the little I. And it can be a row, it can be a column, or it can even be the separate elements. And then the same for your mobile. And those that have been disabled will appear blurred, so you are still aware that they are there. They are just not going to be displayed. And the ones that appear normal, they are the ones that will be viewed on the front end. Let's save our work, Control S. And just for good measure, for upcoming tutorials, we are going to save this block we have made. I'm going to delete this block. I'm not going to use this one. So I just click here, delete, and then go to the block, go to the little heart, click on save. After that, let's just see if it's there in our save blocks, and now we've got this third one. You can already see we are slowly building up to making this abstract photography page. And that's it. This is JP here with Brizy for Beginners.